Hey everybody, today for our OT topic we're going to be talking about bilateral skills. So there's two different types of bilateral skills. The first type is symmetrical bilateral skills, so that's using both of your hands together at the same time. So like drumming, pulling up your pants, things like that, where you're using both hands at the same time to perform an activity. The thing that we're going to talk about today is asymmetrical bilateral skills. So that's using your hands together, but they're not doing the same activity. So opening up a container or stringing beads or holding your paper while the other hand is coloring. Those types of activities. And we really want to promote those activities with the kids. So the first way to promote it is just having them do tasks within the house that involve using those hands. So the first thing I thought of was opening up containers. So if you could just hide anything in containers, there's any kind of containers. This is a gift box. I put stickers in it so they can try and open it and get something out of it, whether you're hiding puzzle pieces or toys or food. If you want to give them a snack, you can just put little Cheerios or something in this type of container and then have them practice opening them up and even closing them. So one hand is holding onto the container and the other hand is really working on trying to open it. Some other examples of containers. This is a little pencil container, and this is really great because it's for zipping, so we're working on self-care too. And just having them open it up, and they can hide their favorite toys in there, figurines, whatever, and working on zippering it. And the key is to have them hold it on one side and then open it with the other hand. You can use like little Easter eggs if you still have them from Easter. Some of the other things, screw top lid containers are great. You can work on them. The bigger the lid or the screw top part, the easier it's going to be. So you can work on having them start with a bigger container and then work to like smaller lids like this where they're really trying to use their fingers and open it up that way. Water bottles are another great one, but that might be tricky. You might want to start out with something bigger. Another one is just Tupperware containers. This one's a really great one because they have to lift it up on all sides before they can open it. And if they're clear, they can see what they're working for. So if you hide something in there like food or other sort of incentives, then they can see that it's in there, that they're going to get the reward. Another one is zippers. I talked about the pencil case, but this is just one that I saved from like pillowcases that I bought. And it's clear, which is great, and then it has that zipper that they can open. This is another example. I got it from the dollar store. It's just a clear bag, and like hiding puzzle pieces or rings for a ring stacker or anything in here is great. And just each time they need to get a new puzzle piece, you hide another one in there for them to open. Another one is Ziploc bags. And I really like this brand the best because it has that little section that's a little bit bigger, taller on one side to get them to know where they put their hands to open it. And once they master opening it, you can get them to try and close it. So they have to really use their pincher fingers and squeeze to close it. The main way that we like to work on bilateral skills is beading. So especially if your kids have some scissor skills goals, but you don't have scissors, beading's a great way to work on that. So there's a whole bunch of different things you can use for beading. You can use pipe cleaners. They're obviously going to be a little bit easier. Ideally, we want to get them to the point where they're able to bead with a shoestring, or even something a little bit harder like a piece of gimp. But if they're not quite there yet, again, you can use pipe cleaners. I found this rope that this would be a little bit stiffer. They can also use, like I found a dowel and it's just a tinker toy, and you can stick it in and have this and have them practice holding it and putting those beads on. Another simple one is just using a ruler. I found this in the house, and if you don't have any beads, you can use something like cut toilet paper rolls and have them hold it with one hand, and then they're stringing their beads on there like that. That's a very simple, easy way for kids that are getting used to beading to work on that skill. Another thing you can use, I found these at the dollar store. They're just hair rollers that I cut. So they just look like this. and you just snip them, and it gives them a little bit of feedback because it's got a texture, but still working on putting them on. And again, they come in different sizes, so they can work their way from something big all the way down to something super small. I also found little slinkies at the dollar store, so this is another great way to use if, you know, if they're having trouble with those smaller beads, or even if they start, you know, if they're putting things in their mouth still and you want to keep it big, something like this would be great too. Another thing would be like, if you guys have Bristol blocks at home, they always come with these little ones with the holes. This is another great one. So you can either have them work on it with the dowel by putting them on like that, or if they're already past that point, you can work on the bigger beads with the shoelace, and have them, you know, work on stringing it through. Another thing I made, I just got a piece of foam. If you get packages, sometimes there's foam in there, and I stuck some pipe cleaners in. So it just gives a little bit of stability, and then you can work on, you know, having them put the beads on that way. Some other ideas for adapted beading. I took a pool noodle, the kind with the hole in the middle, and just cut them. And this is a big, you know, bigger size bead, so it's easier for them to hold on to. And again, you can even use a ruler and have them stick it on like that, but making sure that they're holding it and then using the other hand to put them on. Some other ideas, you can go to Lowe's and get like pipe liners. This is a pipe liner. I just cut them into smaller pieces, and I made these little foam beads too. So this is also another good option for kids that aren't ready for those super small beads. Some other options are, I just found these wiffle balls, you know, the kind with the holes. You can work on having them, just use a pipe cleaner and stick the pipe cleaners through the holes. So they don't even need to pull it all the way through, but just working on that. You can also use a colander for that, a colander from your kitchen. Some other ideas for bilateral skills. I found this whisk, and they could practice sticking things inside. So I just have these pom-poms. So if they're holding it with one hand and they're just sticking in the pom-poms, you can use crumpled up paper, you can use tin foil balls, whatever it is, but the key is for them to hold with one hand and stick it in with the other hand. And even after that, they get them all in, you can work on having them use their pincher fingers and pulling them out again. So this is another great activity to work on those bilateral skills. So there's a couple different ideas. You can use stuff at home, anything, practicing opening up containers, practicing beading, but anything that involves having them stabilize or hold something with one hand and then using their other hand to actually manipulate. Those are all great activities to work on those bilateral skills. So I hope you guys have fun with this, and I hope I gave you some ideas to do at home. Bye.